So I am here at the Rock Power West in Toronto with none other than music legend Glen Matlock.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you? I'm really
Good
good.
to meet you.
I'm really good. How's the Sex Doll tour going?
It's been going pretty good. We're about halfway through it now.
Yeah.
People started off on the East Coast, New York, up to Boston, some shows in between. Went to, where did we go? Quebec, Montreal.
Yeah.
And then we come here. And we're going to go through to the Midwest, Chicago and stuff. It's been going down well.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Good. How was Japan as well?
Japan was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. That was
Yeah.
a different thing. I was playing with a friend of mine called Mr. Hiroshi Suzuki.
Yeah.
And he invited me over, and they put a band together for me. And I didn't really know how it was going to go, but they offered me a reasonable amount of money, and I love going to Japan. I thought I'd go and see what happens, and it was really good actually. They learned all the songs, a great crowd. So
yeah. So what like you're doing a acoustic tour with Sylvain
tonight I am,
yeah. So how does that differ from doing like electric? Like how does the audience react?
It's kind of the same, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's acoustic doesn't mean it's quiet, and it's not all. You know, neither of us are kind of like accomplished classical guitarists. I mean, Sylvain's a better guitarist than me. And when I play, I just kind of think, I kind of imagine I've got a band with me, and I've got a way of playing that is pretty full on.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to get the audience involved with the backing vocals and clapping along and stuff, and it just seems to work.
Yeah.
But what's kind of good about it for me is that all the songs I do, they all started out on an acoustic guitar, and I think that's a good yardstick with a song. You know, if it's not too dependent on all the other little bits and pieces, then it works. Then you got something. You know, so simple, really.
Yeah. What, like, I guess what has been your most favourite moment or funniest moment on this tour? Because right now you're like in the van with Sylvain.
Yeah.
And just going along, driving along.
Yeah, but it's just like the real, we're travelling troubadours.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's fine. You know, it's like a musician's life is up and down, and it's not the biggest thing in the world, but I know the phone will ring and I'll get a bigger thing, and I like to do these things in between. And it's great getting out meeting people. You know?
Yeah. Sure. So, like, looking at the current music industry, obviously you've been in the music industry.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yes. But like, looking at the music side, how has it changed since your time?
Well, I think there's a lot more bands now, and it's hard to keep up with them all, so I don't really bother. I've never really felt part of the music industry. I just do what I do, people like it, and you get paid, and you get out and meet people, and you get to travel the world, and that's kind of fine, you know. But the more I know about the music industry, the less I know about it, and I think that applies to a lot of people. But at least I'm honest about it.
And it's like ever so changing as well.
Yeah.
Like trying to keep
I'm sure there's some interesting things out there, but what they are, I don't know. So to me, at the moment, though, it just seems lots of regurgitated things. There's nothing really new.
How about the state of punk? Well, I know punk is a very big genre, but like.
Well, to me, there was the old Teddy Boys who even in the mid-70s still dressed as Teddy Boys and dug old records, which is kind of cool if they want to do that. But they were kind of living in the past, and I think some punk people are living in the past, but some aren't, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, somebody like Eminem is far more punk, and somebody like Prince is far more punk than the Anti-Nowhere League or the Exploited, you know.
Yeah.
They were like, we're punk and we got sticky up here. It was never about that in my book in the first place. It was about trying to be a bit different and forging ahead somewhere.
Yeah. Like, going on that, like, do you think popular artists, because they're getting out there and you see them doing absurd things and crazy things,
well, they're dying to get in the papers, but I've been in the papers, so it's alright, it's no big deal.
It's a bit weird.
I'd rather be in the paper for the right reason than in some daft reason.
Yeah. So, like, I guess do you listen to like new music or?
I do. I don't go actively search it out, but you can't go and buy a pair of shoes without hearing something come on that you've never heard. You know.
Yeah.
In fact, the best band I've seen for a long while, I was in Hamilton. It might have been last year, and there was this band called the Ringo Death Star. They played. They was from Texas, and they were really cool. I like them.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah.
And I like the name as well. It was a great name.
Ringo Death Star.
In fact, they said they got sued by Ringo, but they came to an arrangement.
Yeah. Like when this is going back like a long, long time now. But what was your like earliest memory of music? Like when you were growing up, did you?
Well, my very earliest memory was that my uncle had been a bit of a teddy boy, and he decided he didn't want to be one, and he gave me all his old 78s when I was about 4 years old. So the first records I really listened to were Joe Lee Lewis, and Little Richard, and Elvis.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you know.
And how did that like affect you when you went into like other bands? Like when you went into Sex Pistols, what was?
Well, I wanted to rock out. I wanted to rock out.
Yeah.
You know, and all those records, they're certainly not wishy-washy kind of song. You know, I used to listen to them on a big old Valve radio ground. You know, turning right up, and it was blasting out. It was cool.
Yeah. What was the feeling you got from the first performance you actually did?
Well, the first performance we did with the Pistols was at my old art college, and I organised it, and we only got to do after set because the band that we were supporting, a band called Bazooka Joe, and Adam Ant was one of the people involved. I don't know if he was in the band or if he was their roadie.
Yeah.
They pulled the plugs on us because they didn't like what we was doing, and we kind of knew straight away that we must have something if it polarised people.
Yeah.
So much, you know. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah. Again, going back a bit now, but with Iggy Pop.
Right.
And you worked on his album.
Yeah, Soldier.
Wrote it, and so like how did that come through?
It was when I had my band the Rich Kids, and it kind of folded, and I just really didn't know what to do, and I was just sitting at home thinking wouldn't it be great if the phone rang. I didn't know what to do next, and it was Iggy Pop's manager, and I was looking for a bass player. It was like, it don't happen very often, but it was kind of cool. Next thing I was coming to the States with Iggy.
Yeah.
You know.
That must have been really cool.
It was good. It's good, but it's funny people say, what was it like working with Iggy, but up until then, everything I'd done with the Pistols and the Rich Kids, it had all been a bit winging a prayer. You know, we didn't have leads that worked, and we didn't really know what we was doing. It was all seat of our pants stuff. And Iggy had actually been touring for many years, and it was quite a professional, proper.
So it was more experience, and
well, we was doing bigger places every night, and it was good.
Yeah. What? That is like a story of you, like a story about you and Iggy, like. If you have any.
Well, I'm not going to tell you a long story now, but I had a really mad night out in Berlin with him, with this transsexual woman called Ronnie Haag, who's quite famous over there, and run a club which was kind of like the movie Cabaret.
Yeah.
You know, there was all transvestites, and we all ended up going from bar to bar to bar to bar till about 10 o'clock the next morning. That was kind of interesting.
Well, it's been
not bad when you're 22, 23, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you enjoy Berlin? Did you?
Very much, and that was before the wall came down.
Yeah, yeah. So was it like, did you see the other side of Berlin as well?
Well, he wasn't allowed to, and he wasn't there that long, but you really felt like it was a place on the edge of the Western world.
Yeah.
There was an edginess to it because it was on the edge of the Western world.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's quite funny. Do you have any new material out? Because I can understand like you've been working on something or.
Well, the last album I put out was about 2.5, 3 years ago now, called Born Running.
Yeah. Which
came out. Yeah, you can do a lot, but it's hard to do a lot these days. But I'm proud of that record. There's some good stuff. And then I put out a best of called Rattle Your Cage, and it's kind of updated versions of some of the stuff that I've done at my last 3 solo records or solo with the Philistines.
Yeah.
And I've been writing, and kind of over the next few months I'm going to start doing a new album. And I think it's going to be a cross between the rock thing and the acoustic thing somehow.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get my head. I've got all the songs for it. I'm just trying to get my head around the instrumentation and the players on it.
Mm-hmm. So like, is that your next step, and then?
That's what I want to do next. Yeah, because
yeah.
the thing is, when you write songs, when you got more than 15 going around your head kind of gets full up, and you got to make a record to clear out some headspace. It's like clearing out the closet, you know. But hopefully, you make a good record in the process.
Yeah. Are you gonna like bring in like other people you've met like over the years to like?
Some of them. It all depends who's available and who's around at the time. You know?
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that I know lots of good players and they're all good friends. So the only thing is they're dotted around the world and they're all busy doing stuff like this. You know, Max Clembert, Max with Slim Jim Phantom. So there's two potential drummers.
Yeah.
Straight away, you know.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Good, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down. So you're going to stay for the show, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to take photos and stuff.
Cool.
Well.
Good.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.